All right, everyone, going to be getting into another props video here, touching on the top prop bets in college basketball and also in the NBA. We also are getting some good college football prop bets, not too many NFL prop bets that are popping up here, but going to be giving you guys a prize picks bet slip as well as an underdog bet slip with all those top prop bets that we currently have. With that, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. And so, yes, as we can see right now, guys, we are getting several of good prop bets right now. Several bets that have an over 54% likelihood to hit, which means today should, on paper, theoretically be a pretty darn good day for us to go out and attack. Let's go ahead and do it kind of sport by sport. Let's start off with some college basketball prop bets. And what we're going to notice is that we are getting a decent amount of good bets here for this SLU SF game that we have here. We got Newberry for under his rebounds of 4.5. We look at the projection data, it slightly agrees with him getting that, with the projection being 4.3, so I'm kind of fine with that. We got Jimerson for under his points and rebounds as well. Very heavy under for him to get under 22.5 points and rebounds. So the line at 20.5 is a little bit tighter. Not exactly one that we need to go out of our way to target, but it is encouraging that the projection data is also agreeing with us. We got Ace Baldwin Jr. for under his rebounds and assists of 12.5. Again, that one has a 54% likelihood to hit, and the projection data agrees there. We got Robbie Avila, who I think a lot of the college basketball audience remembers him, but that's an under fantasy score prop bet that is okay. And then we also have Malik Thomas for over his fantasy score. Again, we have a lot of prop bets from that game that are really popping up, and let's just kind of look at those. So looking at Malik Thomas, guys, we're going to notice that he's been a little bit hit or miss. In the two games where he has gotten this over, he has really crushed it. Okay, so 48.7 and 39 in those two games. So definitely an interesting line there. We look at Robbie as well. We have seen he's been pretty darn consistent, at least thus far this season. I don't know if I exactly like betting the under on him. I haven't done research on this matchup. I'm assuming San Francisco's a little bit more difficult of a matchup for SLU, and then the vice versa is also true, which is why the over for Malik Thomas is being favored, and then the under for Robbie is being favored. But again, I haven't looked into that too much, just full regard there. And then looking at Newberry, just to call it out as well, he has been a little bit hit or miss. I wonder what has happened, because both him and Malik Thomas have had two games where they've gotten the overs, and they're this exact same games. Now for Newberry, we are betting the under 4.5 rebounds. That's what the data was telling us. So all pretty decent bets. But I also want to call out some prop line differences that we are getting here, guys. So we got Brendan Smith. We're getting a big prop line difference for his fantasy score right now. I mean, this is massive. 3.45 is his prop line difference. I mean, that's crazy. That is a middling opportunity for us. That should never, ever be happening with any bet ever between PrizePicks or Underdog or really any other sportsbook. And really, given the prop line difference that we have and given the average sportsbook line of 38 or 35.8, it tells us that we have a good chance to get a middle. Now, the projection data likes the over a little bit more, but this is not a bad bet. We could be targeting the over here. This was a bet, Trey Kaufman, where Underdog was much higher on earlier, and now Underdog has updated their lines a little bit. The under was heavily favored there. I'm kind of mad, but still an okay middle opportunity. And then Ace Baldwin Jr., we are getting a middling opportunity there as well. So did want to call this out because that was pretty crazy that we were getting those edges there. And let's go ahead now and jump on into the NBA, guys. And so the nice thing about the bets that are popping up for the most part in terms of these over fantasy score bets is that they are in the same game. And so I did do a deep dive video of the NBA prop bets that we were getting, kind of the bets that I liked to try to gain some early edges. If you guys haven't watched that, make sure to watch that after this video. But I did mention in that video that I did not like targeting this game because the unknown, like the Kings, it's somewhat of a guessing game in terms of who's going to go off and really in terms of which prop bets to be on when they're not fantasy score prop bets, because De'Aaron Fox can have a good game in multiple ways. He can go off and have a lot of assists. He can go off and have a lot of points, but you also have DeMar DeRozan there. You have Sabonis there, Kevin Huerter, who can go out and shoot the basketball well. So it is a little bit of a guessing game, but when you combine all that, I do feel like you are reducing the variance for someone like De'Aaron Fox. But then we look at Marcus Smart as well. I like his over fantasy score that we're getting there. And so does the data, obviously. And the thing that I like about this as well, very high scoring game, guys. 241.5 and a 3-point spread. Like, sign me up for that. I love the fact that we can game stack this. And a nice thing about this is the fact that the payout is not going to be reduced at all, because like if we did this in NFL, it would be. Like, these correlate pretty well. If it's a high scoring game, they're all more likely to get their overs. And I do want to call out Brandon Clark here as well. So I am working on updating the NBA cheat sheet. I should have it done today, hopefully. But what I'm working on are like these bet tags that will call out like when a bet is being favored as a push bet, a good bet, a great bet, and what I'm calling a hammer bet. You guys know I don't like to call anything a lock or anything like that, but this went 3 for 3 yesterday, which was nice. And basically the summary of it is when a bet is coming in checking all the boxes, that's when it would be called a hammer bet. And so the way to explain that here is you look at the PrizePicks line, it's at 18. You look at the projection data, it's at 18.35. You look at the DVP projection, which is taking the players like per minute, or his projected minutes times the opponent's DVP per minute production, and then times it by his projected minutes. And so he's projected to get that over, and then taking the Vegas line divided by the average minutes times by the projected minutes and seeing if there's an edge there, and then just taking the overall average lines that we are getting, and all of them come in favoring him to get the over there. And then on top of that, we have a 54% likelihood for that bet to get the over. And so we take a peek at the De'Aaron Fox one. Has been going off recently in 3 out of his last 4 games. And again, with this game having the potential to be a close and high scoring game, I'm more on board with that. And again, I like the idea that we can stack that bet together. And same thing with Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, he's back from injury. He's good to go. But again, given the fact that this game's a higher scoring game, it increases his likely to be able to score, but also probably is likely to get a couple of assists or a couple of blocks or steals, which is what we need out of him. And then, going back to Brendan Clark there. Again, the minutes with Memphis are a little bit kind of tough to predict right now, just given everyone's healthy. Like the thing about Memphis in the past had been no one was healthy, so you were getting a decent amount of minutes for like a lot of scrubs, which created some decent edges for us. But obviously, this is a solid bet. He's been able to get this over. It's not worth calling out the game log, honestly, just with them being healthy. Not really worth it. We're more banking on those projected minutes being correct for him and getting the 21 minutes in this game. That's what we need out of him. And then real quickly, guys, we are getting some pretty darn good college football bets here as well. And so we got Cameron Camper to get over 4.5 receptions. He has gotten this over 3 straight games. I'm kind of okay with that one. And the thing I want to point out about a lot of these bets here is that the projection data does correlate with the bets that are being suggested. So I like that aspect of it. Jacob Barnes is a bet that's been pulling up on this 9-to-5 PrizePicks cheat sheet for a while here. So I'm a little bit worried about that. The fact that it's been pulling up here as a good bet for like 2 days now, already got enough exposure to that. Like anymore, it starts to get a little bit risky, I would say. But that's seemingly a good bet there for us as well. That's just to call out, guys, with these college football prop bets, there's not that many sportsbooks given these lines just yet, so they could drastically change. Like with this one, I went and checked. It's like one line here. I think it's I forget which book it was, but there's like one sportsbook giving us that line. So that could be the reason as to why it's still there, because PrizePicks is like, whatever, we're right, you're wrong type of thing. And then just real quickly, guys, getting into Underdog, we are getting some decent bets here on the board as well. Not as many. We got 2 right now. So Quay Walker under 3.5 assists. It's okay. Quay is kind of hit or miss. It really just depends on how many rush attempts the Bears are doing, like inside the tackles. It's a good EV bet, though. I'm happy to bet that one. Then Ace Baldwin Jr. for under 12.5 rebounds and assists. That is going to be the Underdog by the day, guys, just to keep it simple. Those 2. Kind of happy to get there with that. So that's going to be it there for Underdog. We're going to get into the 9-to-5 PrizePicks bet of the day here as well. But first, I want to remind you guys of the promo code that's currently going on. Use the promo code KeepCash and get 20% off your first 9-to-5 membership. Or if you guys are a returning member, take advantage of that promo code. So now getting into the 9-to-5 bet of the day. All right, guys, so getting into the 9-to-5 bet of the day here, coming in off of a good day yesterday. Hopefully we can repeat that today. We will see. Marcus Smart to get over his fantasy score. Again, that's a very solid bet. And again, I really like the idea of stacking these 2 together. That is a good opportunity for us there. We got Newberry for under his rebounds of 4.5. We got Jimerson for under his points and rebounds of 20.5. Now, I do want to call it. Maybe we could toss in the Ace Baldwin Jr. and also Brendan Smith potential middles into this. I'm okay with that. Brendan Smith for over his fantasy score. Actually, I'm warming up to as I'm recording this video. That's just a big prop line difference, and chances are we'll be in the middle, given the average sportsbook line there. And then we got Cameron Camper for over 4.5 receptions, like that. Just to call out that Jacob Barnes one over 5.5 kicking points. If you don't have a lot of exposure to it like I already do, by all means, you could sub that in. That is why I'm not including that bet in there, because I already have too much exposure to it. But you guys can, by all means, attack that one. So, guys, before we leave, give a thumbs up to the video. That does help out a lot. Trying to get honestly a lot more views to the channel here, I come out with these videos a little bit later so that we can kind of compare the lines a little bit more between Underdog and PrizePicks, specifically for those fantasy score lines, which does help out immensely in terms of giving out good prop bets. And by doing that does hurt out the channel slightly. So show some love, give a like, comment your guys' favorite prop bet as well, share it with people. That is a massive way to help. I'm kidding, you guys don't have to do that, but it does help. That's gonna be all, guys. Head on over to 9to5sports.com, get access to those tools for just $10 a month. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck with all your bets today, and as always, let's keep cashing.